So I, like many others, got very excited for the Breaking Bad continuation film El Camino. I think every Breaking Bad fan was interested in seeing what happened to Jesse Pinkman after the show ended. However, after seeing the film, I'm not sure that his story after Breaking Bad really needed to be told. Not to say that the story was bad, it was just sort of boring, I guess. I will say up front that this movie does have one other flaw that's really the only other flaw in this film. And it's that the characters have very clearly aged 6 years since the last time we saw them in Season 5 of Breaking Bad. It's a little distracting, but I learned to live with it. I got over it. Let's talk about this story! The most interesting part of Jesse's solo adventure is when it flashes back to in between Seasons 4 and 5 when he's being held prisoner by Todd. I feel like this movie would have been better if it started with him being held hostage, so for the entire film we had a reference to why he's so messed up mentally. Now, the flashbacks aren't bad, but I feel like they gave the film an uneven distribution of excitement and feelings of intrigue. If it began with him being held captive, it would have started with a really creepy and sort of uneasy feeling, culminating with Jesse's perspective of when Walt came to free him. But instead of seeing Jesse get brought into the room, with Walt and all the guys, it would cut forward to when he's driving away. Because this is Jesse's story. We don't need to rehash everything Walt was around for. This would end the first arc of the film and give way to the second arc, which is just Jesse alone, and the movie would play out the same, but with no flashbacks. I think I'd like that more, maybe. I don't know. That's just a personal opinion. If you don't agree with me, I respect your opinion, I guess. Your inferior opinion. Fucking asshole. Alright. Let's talk about the ending. I wasn't a big fan of the ending shootout. Okay? I said it. It was a weird tonal shift. It was totally badass, and upon repeat viewing, I thought it was really cool, because I expected it from the first time I saw it. But the first time I saw it, it came out of nowhere. I understand that the guy was on cocaine, probably feeling really crazy, and he actually noticed Jesse's gun, but I didn't think it would escalate into a Clint Eastwood shootout. Maybe Jesse, who clearly had his second gun in his jacket pocket, come on, you weren't tricking anybody, would have shot the guy out of nowhere and capped all the rest of the guys to really show how unhinged he was. I would have liked to see Jesse be really crazy for a moment to show how bad his PTSD is, but after having an episode like that, he'd really start grappling it. And then at the end of the film, when he gave that letter that was for Brock to Ed, the guy who makes people disappear, that would really ground him in reality and help his sanity. Alright! Now that I know my shitty rewrites for a movie that was written by a master screenplay writer, let's talk about what my plebeian brain liked. Number 1! I actually enjoyed the way that the film is boring. When I say it's boring, I don't mean that nothing happens. A lot of stuff happens in this film. It's kind of boring because it goes on for a little bit too long, and it's not as grandiose as the TV series it sequels. The over-the-top badassery from Walter White comes from his ability to put himself in perilous situations and somehow make a plan and get out of trouble. For example, in Season 1 he goes straight to Tuco and tries to make a deal with him. When Tuco isn't buying what Walt's selling, he blows up the room and shows he's dangerous and should be written off. This is a really smart move because Walt believes he's on death's door with his cancer diagnosis and he really doesn't give a fuck, and it shows his proficiency with chemistry and gives him extra merit as a chemist. And yeah, sure, he was making meth so pure it was blue. We really don't get an idea of how difficult it is to make meth because Jesse, an idiot, was making meth. Now, Jesse isn't a chemistry genius, but in a flashback in this film, Walter says that Jesse should go to college for business because he's a natural-born salesman, being a drug dealer and all that. This would have been really cool to see put into action in the film. At the end of the movie, he needs more money. Why not have him owe Ed like 10 grand instead of $1,700 and set up a deal with someone to make money real quick? And then after that deal, he then owes maybe $1,700 or $1,000 to pay Ed. Shit, I think it'd be funny if he only needed $100 after making a deal with like some blue meth that doesn't actually exist or something, so he could get into a shootout over a measly $100. Number 2! The flashbacks with Todd and the welder guy that Jesse has to shoot out with are fucking crazy and give good insight into why Jesse is so messed up. Disregarding my rewrites, the flashback with Todd's are really good at making you understand how soulless and dead Todd really is. I mean, like, he shot a kid in the chest like it was nothing in Breaking Bad, but it's been like 7 years since people saw that, and we needed a refresher. Just how he planned out a way to string Jesse along with helping him dispose of a body is great. He gets Jesse to put the camper shell on his El Camino, and then brings him into an apartment like nothing's wrong with murdering a good person with a leather belt just because she saw a fraction of your stash money that you could easily explain as being your savings, and that one book that she found was the only one that had money in it. And then having Jesse get cigarettes out of the glove box where there's a gun, and him not even thinking for a second that Jesse would grab the gun and escape by killing him. Just really shows how desensitized Todd is to killing people. Todd's just walking around with Jesse like, killing my cleaning lady? Bitch, that's just Tuesday. You should have seen last week when I beat the shit out of all these school kids for looking at me weird. Now that was something. Number 3. I like the ending when he's driving down the empty Alaskan road and he has a memory of Jane. Like, that's really cute. This is a really good scene because it really shows his acceptance of his past and his ability to move on with his life, but not forgetting about the woman he actually loved. I loved how it wasn't a memory of Walter that ended the film because it very easily could have been. Jesse never really forgave Walter for letting Jane die. Like, he's got to have some really conflicted feelings about Walt. On one hand, Walter told him he let Jane die before Uncle Jack took him away, but on the other hand, Walter died to free Jesse from captivity. However, he wouldn't have been held hostage if Walter didn't point him out to Uncle Jack after the shootout with Hank and Gomi. Man, poor Jesse. Like, his biggest father figure is the guy who, like, left him to be tortured for like a year or whatever. Like, Jesus. It's crazy. That's the main stuff I liked about El Camino. I give it like a 6 out of 10. Because it may have been sort of one note, but it had a really solid story that I liked, you know? Alright, yeah, El Camino is pretty good, I guess. I just kind of want to finish this video so I can go back to watching this live stream on TikTok. It's this one creator, Jinx the Destroyer. If you don't know who she is and you like TikTok, you should go find her. She's really cool. I like her live stream. She's awesome. It's great. All right, I'm done. I'm gonna go watch the live stream. I'm gonna not edit this video for like another month. Fuck it. I'm just gonna watch her lives. It's cool.